Wait for it. Wait for it. Huh? Huh? Guys, I did an ultra, and I'm not dead. Welcome back, everyone. Derek Rosansky here, your obstacle activist. And on today's video, I'm just gonna go over my personal story about how I completed Ultra with zero training. That's right, I completed Killington Ultra, no training whatsoever. All right, so for those of you who don't know, an Ultra Beast is essentially 2 laps of the regular Beast, but this year in 2018, they decided to throw an extra curveball our way by adding an additional Ultra Beast loop that only the Ultra Beasters do. In past Ultras this year, it had only been on the first lap, but this year they decided to make us do it on both laps. Basically, as long as it equals out to 30 miles, that is an Ultra distance. And let me tell you, that Ultra loop was no freaking joke. It was a mile straight down Bear Mountain and then straight back up, except when you went up, you were bushwhacking and on your hands and knees the entire way. So yeah, that was fun. We got to do it twice. Made the death march look easy. So I'm not really sure what the exact do not finish rate was. People are saying anywhere from 50 to 80%. I'm kind of getting mixed numbers, not really sure what the exact number is. If by the time I post this video, I know, I will definitely let you know. Post it like right here. But anyway, it was at least 50% who just didn't finish this race. So how did I, someone who is never run an ultra, am not a distance runner, I'm a sprinter, and who had zero training, and I mean literally zero training for this race. I ran for like 2 weeks beforehand. That was my training. So how did I be one of those people that actually finished? Well, in this video, I'm gonna go over what I found useful and my tips and strategies and what I used to get through this hellish race. So the first piece of advice that I'm gonna give, and probably the most useful I think out of anything, is just talking to people who've actually run an ultra. The best way to do this is to go on Spartan Race Ultra Beast Worldwide. It's a Facebook forum. It's not run by Spartan, it's run by racers. It's run by those people who live, breathe, eat, and sleep ultra racing. I mean, that is probably one of the best places to get information about ultras, how to train for them, how to, eat for them, just everything you need to know can be found on that forum. That is my #1 tip, is just to, reach out to those people. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the link for that down below. Feel free to add into that group. Everyone in there is really great, really helpful. All right, the second piece of advice that I'm gonna give, even though I know I said I didn't do it, is to train for this race, guys. I mean, this is not a race that you just wanna walk and mosey into and just think you're gonna finish. I know I did that, but you really shouldn't. I mean, I at least knew what I was getting myself into. You should be training for not only weeks, but months, a year. Train for this event. I mean, this is a 30-mile event. I mean, and if you do the venue that I did at Killington, you have 14,000 feet of elevation. I mean, I don't know if you realize how difficult of a race that is. You need to train for this. But on the off chance that you are like me, and you kind of just said, yep, putting train in the back corner, not gonna train for it, then these next tips will probably help you get through the race at least. So even if you're not gonna train for this race, whatever, you definitely need to have proper nutrition leading up to the race. Now, I'm talking about hydration here. And when I say hydration, I'm not talking cram hydration where you're drinking 3 and 4 gallons of water the day before the race or the morning of the race. No, you need to be hydrating the week before the race, the week leading up to the race. You need to be very hydrated. One day of cram hydration just isn't gonna cut it for this one. So for me personally, I hydrated very well the week even before the race. I usually drink BCAAs pretty much 24/7, 365. So, getting my BCAAs in, drinking a lot of fluids, and then the week of the race, I was drinking noon tablets, was sipping on some Pedialyte here and there, just trying to get my body acclimated, get very hydrated, get all the electrolytes in my body that I needed for the race coming up. Now, along with hydration, obviously goes the food and the nutrition side. Now, I wouldn't go crazy with this. A lot of people, oh, I'm gonna carb load, but a lot of people don't know how to carb load properly. Just eat what you normally eat, maybe add a little bit more volume to it, a little bit more carbs. Don't go crazy. Do not, under any circumstances, eat or consume anything that you would not regularly eat or consume leading up to the race or on race day. That's just problems waiting to happen. It's gonna upset your stomach. eat like you normally would, just a little bit more volume to it, that's all. Okay, so you're properly hydrated, you're eating properly. The next step is just gonna be having your drop-in set. Now, I'm only gonna hit on this briefly. I'm actually gonna do a whole separate video on what I put in my drop-in and how I set up my drop-in, but you need to have your drop-in, you know, in line. Things need to be organized. You need to only put the necessities in there. You wanna be in and out of transition in under 10 minutes, max. I'm talking max 10 minutes here. This is where, you know, you're gonna see people start just dropping like flies, is at the transition area. People are either gonna A, give up, or B, spend way too much time at transition, and it's pretty much gonna screw them in the long run. I timed mine, I was in and out in about 7.5 minutes, and even that I think was a little bit too long. Like I said, you don't wanna be in there any more than 10 minutes. That's just gonna give your body time to cramp, go in recovery mode. It's gonna let your mind play tricks on you saying, oh, do I really wanna go back out there? Get in, get your stuff, and get out. Also, while you're in transition, do not, under any circumstances, sit down. I don't know how many people I saw sit down and it's just, again, instant cramps, your body goes into recovery mode, everything amplifies the minute you sit. So when you're in transition, not only do you wanna be quick, but you wanna stay standing. I didn't sit a single time in the entire 13 hours. Yes, I was on that course for 13 hours and like 32 minutes. I stood the entire time. I did not sit whatsoever. The minute you sit, things just go south. So when you're in transition or even out on course, do not sit. Now, when you're on the course itself, the biggest advice that I could probably give is to just keep moving forward. Do not stop, do not take any breaks. I don't care if you're going at a snail's pace and you're literally getting passed by the ant next to you. Just keep moving. That does so much for morale. Not only that, but it's actually gonna really help your time. I mean, you'd be surprised how far you can go in 5 or 10 minutes of super slow walking compared to if you took a 5 or 10 minute break and just not going anywhere. So keep moving forward. Know your time hacks. That is one of the most important things about this entire race, is to know, where you need to be and at what times. A lot of people don't finish this race not because they're incapable, but because they just strictly don't make the time cuts. There are very strict time cuts on the course and you need to be at those places by that time. Know where the cuts are, know where you need to push. So you thought hydration ended before the race. No. You gotta make sure you're staying hydrated the entire race. So when you're on the course and you're constantly moving forward, you wanna be taking a sip of your water at least every 5 to 7 minutes. I made sure, even if it was just a little sip, I was getting fluid in my body, replenishing my electrolytes. You just wanna make sure you're staying hydrated, because even if you're not needing it in that moment, that doesn't mean you're not gonna be needing it 2, 3, 4 hours later in the course. And on top of that, I was eating a goo every 45 minutes to an hour, and I was alternating that between goo and hard food. Now, outside of just, drinking every 5 to 7 minutes of my pack, I was also stopping at every single aid station and drinking a minimum of 2 cups of water at every single station, even if I wasn't thirsty. That way, 1, I'm not wasting all the hydration in my vest and I have it if I need it, and 2, it was just, keeping me hydrated that much more. Okay, so you're properly hydrated, you ate well, you're in the race, you did transition fast, you're still moving forward, but you're on lap 2 and you're just dragging. For me, this is where I really started to struggle. I mean, I was on lap 2, I hit that second ultra loop and it was just sheer drop in my demeanor. I looked at that ultra loop and I'm like, damn, I really don't want to do this. I don't think I can make this. I'm only halfway through lap 2 and I'm already ready to give up. You have to find your why. I know that sounds corny, but you do. You need to find, why you're doing this race, what it means to you, and what it means to finish, and you just need to hold on to that. That little bit right there will just keep you pushing through the rest of the race until you hit that finish line, and you need to keep that with you. Now, this is probably gonna be a little bit different for everybody, but for me personally, that why was kind of twofold. 1, I didn't want to, waste all the time and energy that I did doing a lap and a half and just give up or not make it. I wanted to finish this race. I didn't want all that to be for nothing. Which, if you didn't know, if you don't finish the ultra and you still do a lap, sorry, you don't get anything. You don't get a beast medal, you don't get an ultra medal, you get nothing. So it's either go big or go home. You need to finish. The second reason was that I just wanted to prove people wrong. I mean, I don't know how many people I had commenting on my Facebook, messaging me, you know, what have you, being like, you've never run an ultra, you haven't trained, you're running in new shoes, which, yes, side note, I ran in new shoes fresh out the box for this race. YOLO. And, you know, I just wanted to prove all those people wrong. I wanted to take this medal right here and go, ha, see, I did it. I can do it. I'm strong and I know I can do it. So for me, I just kept repeating that to myself over and over and over again in my head, and that just really got me through the rest of the race. And eventually you will come to that finish line. You will get your medal after you go through the process of going and giving your name and being a zombie, but you will get that medal and you will get that belt buckle. So if you're stupid enough like me to do no training whatsoever, just follow some of these steps and I guarantee you, you will make it to the end of the race. You just have to keep pushing, and again, just find your why and keep going and you will make it to the end. Now, if you're new here to this channel, make sure you subscribe. I am gonna be posting a video later this week that's basically gonna go over the entirety of my drop-in, what I had in there, how I had it organized, and how I was in and out so fast. So make sure you subscribe. You don't wanna miss that one. It's gonna be a good one. And yeah, enjoy this picture of me at the finish line of the Ultra. Till next time, guys. Peace.